7 days to rewire your mind. Unlock a new you. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it can also become a trap. Every day, most of us wake up and instantly replay the same thoughts, emotions, and habits that define our past. These patterns feel comfortable because they're familiar, but they often keep us stuck, recreating a life we might not even want. What if you could rewire your mind to focus on possibilities instead of limitations? What if, in just a short time, you could start building a future that excites you? This video is about taking control of your thoughts and emotions to create a new version of yourself. It's not about waiting for a crisis to force change. It's about choosing to transform right now with intention and purpose. We'll explore why your mind clings to the past, how your daily habits reinforce it, and practical steps to break free and design a life aligned with your dreams. Understanding the mind's default mode. The human mind is like a supercomputer, constantly processing information based on what it's been programmed to do. By the time you're an adult, much of that programming comes from years of repeated thoughts, reactions, and experiences. Think about your morning routine. You wake up, maybe check your phone, feel a familiar pang of stress or boredom, and dive into the same sequence of actions. Why? Because your brain is wired to seek what's familiar, even if it's not serving you. Every thought you think triggers a chemical response in your body, creating emotions that reinforce that thought. If you're constantly replaying memories of frustration or disappointment, your body gets used to feeling those emotions, and soon they become your default state. This cycle isn't just a habit, it's a neurological loop that makes your past feel like your destiny. The good news? You can interrupt this loop. By understanding that your thoughts aren't just random, but part of a learned pattern, you gain the power to start choosing what to think and feel instead. Breaking the cycle of the past. Recognizing that your mind is stuck in a loop is the first step, but breaking free requires action. The key is to move beyond the automatic chatter of your thoughts and into a space where you can consciously choose what to focus on. This is where practices like mindfulness or quiet reflection come in. When you sit still and observe your thoughts without reacting, you start to notice how often your mind drifts to old worries or grudges. Instead of fighting these thoughts, simply acknowledge them and redirect your attention to the present moment. This act of awareness weakens the grip of old patterns. Another powerful tool is to question the thoughts that arise. If you catch yourself thinking, "I'm always stressed," ask, "Is that really true? What if I could feel calm instead?" Over time, this questioning rewires your brain to consider new possibilities. The goal isn't to erase the past, but to stop letting it dictate your future. By consistently practicing this, you're training your mind to prioritize what you want over what you've always known. Planting seeds for a new future. Once you start loosening the hold of old thought patterns, you create space to build something new. This is where visualization becomes a game changer. Picture the life you want. Not just the big moments, but the small details. How you feel when you wake up, the energy you bring to your day, the way you interact with others. The more vividly you imagine this, the more your brain begins to treat it as real. This isn't just daydreaming. It's about engaging your emotions to make the vision feel alive. If you want to feel confident, for example, don't just think about it. Feel that confidence in your chest, your posture, your breath. Your body responds to these emotional signals, and over time, it starts to crave this new state instead of the old one. Consistency is key. Set aside a few minutes each day to practice this mental rehearsal, ideally in a calm state, like early in the morning or before bed. By doing this, you're not just imagining a better future, you're programming your mind and body to expect it, overcoming resistance from within. As you work to rewire your mind, you'll likely face pushback, not from the world, but from yourself. Your body and subconscious mind are used to the old way of being, and they don't like change, even if it's for the better. This resistance might show up as restlessness when you try to focus, sudden urges to check your phone, or even random memories that pull you back to old emotions. This isn't a sign of failure, it's proof you're challenging the status quo. The trick is to treat your mind like a curious child rather than an enemy. When it wanders, gently bring it back to your intention. If you feel overwhelmed, start small. Maybe just 5 minutes of focused breathing or visualizing one positive outcome. Each time you persist, you're teaching your body that you're in charge, not the old habits. Over days, this resistance starts to fade, and the new patterns you're building feel less foreign. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger your ability to stay present and intentional becomes. Building a new emotional blueprint. Rewiring your mind isn't just about changing thoughts. It's about transforming how you feel on a deep, emotional level. Emotions are the fuel that drives your reality. So if you want a different life, you need to cultivate different feelings. Start by identifying the emotions you want to embody. Maybe it's peace, gratitude, or enthusiasm. Then, practice generating those emotions on purpose, not waiting for external events to trigger them. For example, take a moment to close your eyes and recall a time you felt truly joyful. Let that feeling spread through your body, amplifying it with each breath. If you can't find a memory, create one by imagining a scenario that sparks that emotion. This practice does something remarkable. It signals to your brain and body that this new emotional state is safe and desirable. Over time, these feelings become your new baseline, replacing the stress or doubt that once dominated. The beauty of this approach is that you don't need anything outside of yourself to start. You're tapping into your own power to shape your inner world, which then begins to reflect in your outer life, making it stick through daily practice. Rewiring your mind isn't a one-time event, it's a daily commitment to showing up for yourself. The good news is that small, consistent actions add up to massive change. Create a simple routine to anchor your new mindset. Start your day with 5 to 10 minutes of intentional focus. Maybe it's a mix of deep breathing, visualizing your goals, or writing down one positive intention. This sets the tone before old habits can creep in. Throughout the day, pause to check in with yourself. If you notice negative thoughts bubbling up, don't judge them. Just redirect to something that aligns with the life you're building, like a quick affirmation or a moment of gratitude. At night, reflect on one thing you did to move toward your new self, no matter how small. These practices aren't about perfection, but about progress. Think of it like tending a garden. Each day you water it, pull a few weeds, and trust the seeds are growing. Over time, these moments compound, turning your new way of thinking and feeling into second nature. Embracing the unknown with confidence. One of the biggest hurdles to reprogramming your mind is fear of the unknown. Your old patterns, even if they're painful, feel predictable, and stepping into a new way of being can feel like walking into a fog. But here's the truth. The unknown is where growth happens. To embrace it, shift your perspective from fear to curiosity. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" try, "What could I discover?" When you meditate or visualize, let yourself explore possibilities without needing all the answers. This openness rewires your brain to see uncertainty as opportunity rather than threat. It's also helpful to celebrate small wins along the way. Maybe you stayed calm in a situation that usually frustrates you, or you caught yourself choosing optimism over doubt. These moments build confidence that you can handle whatever comes next. By leaning into the unknown with trust in yourself, you're not just rewiring your mind. You're unlocking a sense of freedom to create a life that feels authentic and alive. Rewriting your identity. As you practice these new ways of thinking and feeling, you're not just changing habits, you're reshaping who you are. Your identity, the story you tell yourself about yourself, is often built on past experiences. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Start asking, who do I want to be? Maybe it's someone who's resilient, creative, or kind. Then, act as if you're already that person, even in small ways. If you want to be confident, make a choice today, however tiny, that reflects confidence, like speaking up or trying something new. Each action reinforces this new identity. It's also crucial to let go of old labels that no longer serve you. If you've always thought, "I'm just an anxious person," challenge that by noticing moments when you feel calm or capable. Over time, these new choices and observations rewrite the script of who you are. This isn't about pretending, it's about stepping into the truth of what you're capable of becoming, one deliberate step at a time. The ripple effect on your life. When you rewire your mind, the changes don't stop with you. They ripple out to every part of your life. As you cultivate emotions like gratitude or courage, you'll notice shifts in how you interact with others. Relationships improve because you're no longer reacting from old triggers. Instead, you're responding with clarity and intention. Your work or creative pursuits might feel more inspired because you're approaching them with a fresh perspective. Even challenges start to look different. What once felt overwhelming becomes a chance to grow. These shifts happen because your inner world shapes your outer reality. By focusing on positive emotions and purposeful thoughts, you're aligning yourself with opportunities that match this new energy. It's not magic, but it can feel like it when you realize you're no longer stuck in the same old patterns. The life you're building starts to feel less like a distant dream and more like a reality you're already living. Staying committed through setbacks. No journey to rewire your mind is without bumps. There will be days when old habits creep back, when you feel discouraged, or when life throws a curveball that tests your resolve. These moments don't mean you're failing, they're part of the process. The key is to approach setbacks with compassion and strategy. If you slip into negative thinking, don't beat yourself up. Instead, notice it. Take a deep breath and choose one small action to realign, like a quick meditation or writing down something you're grateful for. It's also helpful to remind yourself why you started. Keep a note or a mental anchor of your vision. Maybe it's the feeling of freedom or the life you're working toward. This reconnects you to your purpose. Another tip is to track your progress over time. Look back at where you were a week or a month ago, and you'll likely see how far you've come, even if it's not perfect. By treating setbacks as learning opportunities, you strengthen your commitment and build resilience that makes future challenges easier to handle. The power of community and environment. Your mind doesn't exist in a vacuum. Your surroundings and the people around you play a big role in your transformation. If you're constantly around negativity or chaos, it's harder to maintain your new mindset. Start curating your environment to support your goals. This might mean setting boundaries with people who drain your energy or spending more time with those who inspire you. Even small changes, like keeping your space tidy or adding reminders of your vision, like a journal or a meaningful object, can reinforce your focus. Connecting with others who share your desire for growth can be a game changer. Look for communities, whether online or in person, where people encourage mindfulness, positivity, or personal development. Sharing your journey with others not only keeps you accountable, but also reminds you that you're not alone. When your environment and relationships align with the person you're becoming, it's like giving your mind fertile soil to grow in, making your new habits and identity feel more natural every day. Rewiring your mind is one of the most empowering journeys you can take. It's not about erasing who you are or chasing perfection. It's about choosing to let go of what holds you back and embracing the potential within you. Every time you pause to redirect a negative thought, visualize a brighter future, or feel a spark of gratitude, you're laying the foundation for a life that reflects your deepest aspirations. The process isn't always easy, and it won't happen overnight. But with persistence, even small efforts create profound change. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or for life to force your hand. You have the power to start today. So, take that first step, whether it's a moment of stillness, a kind word to yourself, or a bold vision of what's possible. Your mind is yours to shape, and with it, your future. Here's to becoming the person you know you can be. One thought, one feeling, one day at a time.